Hello there, everybody, and welcome to the pilot episode of the Objectively Bad podcast. This is technically episode 0, not episode 1, so while it is the first episode, it's kind of like not a proper episode. Just wanted to preface this by saying that. In this episode, though, we are going to introduce ourselves, our relationship to each other, me and my co-host Chad, as well as what the podcast is going to be about. But there's also quite a good 20 to 30 minute section of us doing our first segment in the podcast, and there's quite a lot of funny bits. So even though this isn't our first real episode, I would still highly recommend you listening to the whole thing. Now, just before we get into it, I just want to warn you that this is our first time both doing this, so we're still working through a lot of issues when it comes to microphone, cameras, talking to each other, and just getting used to the podcast vibe. So if there are awkward moments where we don't speak for a couple of seconds, or one of us is saying a lot, or we're just talking over each other, those are things that we're going to work out in the coming episodes when we get more used to doing this. But past all that, I still think this is quite an enjoyable episode, and I'd highly recommend you listen to it. And especially for us, we'd really appreciate if you leave your feedback and comments down below so we can know what to improve on next time. But without further ado, hope you enjoy the first episode of Objectively Bad. Well, shit, I failed already. Welcome to the Objectively Bad podcast. This is a podcast where me, Dan, your boy Lankerman Dan, as you might know me on the You Teletubbies, and my good friend Chad are going to talk about things.
Stuff. Mostly nerd culture, pop culture. Yeah, mostly nerd culture. Probably. I mean, there's other things we might talk about, but like games, as you know, anyone that knows Dan here, he plays GTA, so we'll talk about big games.
Massive gamer right here.
We'll talk about movies, TV shows, probably like comic stuff. You'll talk about anime and I'll attempt to understand it. I should get into it. I haven't yet.
Yeah, we'll have discussions about that later. Chad is a dirty dub user.
We'll get into this later. I don't want to start off that way. I want to do subbed, but I don't have the attention span. But anyways, we might talk about some music, maybe some football or soccer for the Americans. Whichever.
I'm currently watching a game of football right now, so if I seem distracted, that is why.
Hell yeah!
I know. First episode, I'm already being extremely unprofessional.
Already caught lacking.
Yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, those are kind of the general topics. It sounds very broad and like we have no idea what we're doing. Don't worry, we have some idea what we're doing. So.
I thought you were going to say we have no idea what we're doing.
No, we have a plan, right? We have some.
Oh, okay, yeah. There's a plan.
And we've known each other for a good amount of years, so we know how to talk to each other. I think
we do know how to talk to each other. We're not both extremely awkward.
Most of the time, at least.
Yeah, I wouldn't say extremely awkward. Just a little awkward.
Yeah, moderately is probably the right word to go for.
Yeah, moderate's a good word. Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. Now, I'm sure most of you that have come from my channel know me already. That would make sense. But for you, those of you who haven't or watching this in the future, let me introduce myself. My name is Dan, or like I said earlier, you may know me on YouTube, Lankman Dan. I am a GTA Online YouTuber and hopefully a GTA 6 YouTuber 2 years from now if that game comes out, which please.
Eventually.
Yeah, I know it's taking a goddamn while. 2025, I'm going to neck myself. But yes, I mainly make GTA Online videos, but I decided to start a podcast with my friend Chad because apparently I don't know when to shut up and I need to talk even more. It's a concerning problem.
Yeah. I mean, I
appreciate the enthusiasm.
Yeah, I'm here for it. You have any more?
Other things I can say, I think one of the biggest dynamics is that I'm Australian. Chad is American, so that's going to be a little bit of a back and forth there. It's also why the podcast is digital, because I can't afford to fly to America every week to record a podcast.
Just fly out to the States every week. It's only like $2,000 a week.
Yeah, and the fact that I'm 6'6" and can't fit in a plane doesn't really help you.
Yeah.
That's not really great, to be honest.
Yeah, no, it's not really great.
No. But we'll get into more stuff about our personal lives, not intensely, but like a bit how we know each other and stuff. But I'll let Chad introduce himself. Yeah, a complete deep dive. I'll tell you all about my failures with women. No, I'll let Chad introduce himself now so you can get to know him.
Nice.
For those of you that have watched my channel, you may have seen him in the Diamond Casino heist video and also the Doomsday heist video, which he was useless in. Joking.
I was plenty useful. a lot of those missions, I did not have a fast enough car to catch up to you in.
Yeah. It was
anyways,
tragic.
but yeah, my name's Chad. I already forgot what you said. I am not a YouTuber. I'm just here.
Just
here
a
for the
guy.
ride. Just a guy.
Just a fun guy.
Just a fun guy. And yeah, what I can say is so we both know each other from high school.
Yep.
So as you're aware, he's Australian, I'm American. And so of course we met in Germany.
Yeah. Very normal. It makes
very
a lot
normal.
of sense.
Both of our parents happened to be working in Germany, and because neither of us spoke German, we got sent to an international school. So that's cool.
Yeah. It was difficult and stressed us out an unnecessary amount because the schooling system known as the International Baccalaureate.
Good old IB program.
Yeah, it's not a fun one. But yeah, that's how we met. We met in, I think we technically met in 9th grade, but became really good friends in 10th grade.
9th grade. Yeah, probably better friends in 10th grade. We became friends through a music class where we both played bass guitar. Because that's what everyone says about bands. You need more bass.
Exactly.
2 bass guitars is actually the ideal amount of bass.
I was actually trying to play guitar initially, and then our music teacher, Mrs. S, not to dox her, was like, you're not good enough. Let's put you on the bass so we can have 2 bass players, known as the Bass Boys, as we called ourselves later on. And the Bass Boys were going to do wondrous things. Ourselves. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, we continue. Okay.
Yeah, no, we're still called the Bass Boys. That should actually be the name of this podcast. We should have called it the Bass Boys. Yeah, that'd have been good.
That makes it sound like we're gonna talk about bass. It's just a podcast about talking about bass guitars.
Yeah, each episode we talk about our favorite string. There's only 4 of them usually, so it doesn't go on very long.
Sometimes there's a couple more.
I said most of the time. I'm not gonna exclude the 5-string basses. They have rights now, the 5-string basses.
That 6-string bass.
Yeah.
Pretty good. It's basically a guitar.
Yeah.
Though I think it's usually not the same as a guitar. I want to say it's a lower B and then they do a higher B as well. I don't remember. It's unimportant.
Yeah. No one cares about the Bass Boys. Let's be honest. That's why we got rid of the name. That's why we stopped playing it as well.
I can't remember. I play it every once in a while. I think you can kind of see it's there, it's right there. There's my bass. Yeah, if I know how to point.
I have a acoustic guitar. Where is it? There we go. I play it about once every 3 months and forget how to use the strings, but it is there. So that's something. But yeah, we met in high school, a 9th grade music class. 10th grade, we got much closer because Chad was initially friends with a lot of American people, and then the Americans left. So he was like, next best thing, Australian.
Basically the same.
Yeah,
there's differences, really. But it's as
like
close
we're
as
much better in like every respect, but like it's still pretty similar.
Well, hold up.
You can't argue with this. We have free healthcare. That's basically the only thing you need.
Why have free healthcare when you could instead pay way too much money for healthcare? That's unimportant right now, though. I'll talk about it later.
I do love, my favorite pastime is getting knocked out in America, waking up and realize that an ambulance took me to an out of what's it called?
I don't know what you're
like
trying
out
to
of
get here.
Like a hospital that's not in your service area. Is that what?
Yeah.
What's it called?
Out of service, probably.
Yeah, something like that. So basically, in America, and why we're getting to healthcare, if you go to a hospital that's not in your care providers,
immediately got into healthcare.
Like care providers, like range of hospitals they allow, you just pay a lot more money, and it's great. Yeah, it's really fun. Isn't it? So if you're unconscious and bleeding out and dying, you don't really have a choice in the matter, which is just a great society to be in, to be honest. It's succulent, I'd say.
That's not the word I'd use, but that's fine.
It's the word I'd use, and that's all that matters.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I like how we started off saying that we were going to do nerd culture and pop culture and immediately got into healthcare.
I guess American healthcare.
Immediately.
See, this is why it's objectively bad. We don't even say what we're going to talk about. Like it's
hell yeah.
The name means something. That's why we picked it. Because if it sucks, then we can be like, hey, what did you expect? It's in the title.
Yeah. It's your fault. We turn into gaslighting. It's your fault you're not having a good time.
Yeah, like
you thought we'd be good, and that's your fault.
Yeah.
Get better.
You
have
slimy,
better expectations.
ignorant little summer child with no brain, no way to think.
Summer child.
Yeah, I don't know. I really like the term "sweet summer child." I don't know why.
Yeah,
I can't remember where I hear it or where I heard it first, but I like
I've probably said that before. I wonder if that means anything.
It means like ignorant sweet summer child means someone that's like ignorant to the world.
As naive. Cool.
Yeah, naive. I like the term.
That's what I figured.
It's a fun way of saying you naive little boy, you sweet summer child.
I don't like you saying little boy.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't be saying that, should I?
Yeah.
So I've talked about pedophiles and little boys in the same podcast.
Do we need are you 2 episodes in, you get put on a list?
I would really hope that's not the case.
I mean, I would too.
Yeah. You just take the podcast over from that point. Steal all the rights.
It's just me, but I act like you're still there.
Yeah. You're just talking to nobody whatsoever. You have developing schizophrenia.
Yeah.
The whole podcast.
That's a good segue into our bit for this week. So one thing that we're going to attempt to do, and we'll see if this continues or if it doesn't for whatever reason, is in the name Objectively Bad, we want to discuss and kind of go on like bad ideas. And so each week the idea is to have something to talk about. So this week we're going to do podcast because it's an intro. But we're going to pitch each other bad podcast ideas.
Yep. So I guess
that are just objectively bad.
Yeah. So I guess, that was a good segue. Strange. I didn't even try and do that.
Yeah, it worked out.
So yeah, a bad podcast is one man that either had a co-host and he just left, or has schizophrenia and thinks he has a co-host,
and
it's just talking to himself just the whole time.
Yeah. Just acts like someone is there, like laughs at things. That could be entertaining, but I think it wouldn't be.
The issue with it that I feel is that there'd be like really long gaps and pauses when the other person's supposed to be
just dead
talking.
Silence.
Yeah, it's like assume you're the person with the mental illness, let's call it.
Yeah.
And you think I'm here and I'm going on a massive rant about anime because I'm a weeb or whatever. And I'm talking for like 5 minutes and you're just sitting there silently, just staring at the camera. And the podcast listeners on YouTube be like, oh, okay, this is the bit. People in audio be like, did he die now? Like, what's
did
going
it pause? Is it done?
There's like
that would not work in an audio format.
There's like an instant rise and like people like checking if their phone is breaking, taking it into stores, like what's happening.
Yeah.
There's been no sound for 5 minutes. And then out of nowhere, you just laugh really loudly out of nowhere and scare the shit out of every single person listening.
That sounds a good way to go insane.
It does. Yeah.
That's a good segue. One of the ones I've had is actually the opposite. It's called the No Breaks podcast, in which you edit the hell out of it so that there's absolutely no pauses. Like even if like there's a little dramatic pause or just natural pause in the conversation, or I'm taking a breath, it's just cut and it's just all of the content all back to back, no stops, no pauses. I think that'd be great.
So it's basically a Call of Duty cutcom for an hour straight. That's the idea you're getting at here.
Yeah, but it's just talking. Like you have no time to like take in information.
God.
It's just all at what
How about we set it to 1.5 times speed as well, just to really ramp it up. Just like intense. So it's like a 2-hour podcast, but you somehow like you talk for 2 hours,
like 30 minutes.
Exactly, and it just gets drilled into you.
I think what you do is you don't make it 1.5, but you make it like a little like 1.2.
Just to like confuse them a little bit.
Even better, you change it throughout the podcast. So sometimes it's going at one speed. Sometimes it's going at like 1.25. Sometimes at like almost 2. And then every once in a while it goes down to like 0.75 or 0.5.
Just to keep them on their toes.
And it just slows down. Yeah, just keep them on their toes. And just to keep you... Again, I think you could potentially go insane if you continue to listen to it. And the best part is it doesn't matter what the content is because it's just horrible editing.
So there's no topic to the podcast. Just got 2 guys or 3 guys.
I mean, I think there could be a topic. I just mean like it could be any topic. I think it should be something that's like niche. Or
it'd be really ironic if it's a podcast about public speaking. And like the guys just don't know how to speak, so they have to cut everything out. They say and like breathe in every sentence.
There's so many ums and
so they have to just cut it like intensely so they sound good, but then it just ends up being this absolute mumble jumble of just like the fastest speech humanly possible.
Like, Either I think that or it's a podcast on good audio editing.
It's an audio editing podcast with the worst editing possible. Just extremely ironic.
Yeah.
Without them actually trying to be ironic.
Maybe slowly over time it gets better. Like the first episode, this is a completely different podcast now. This is actually probably not a good idea, but kind of an interesting bit. Is they start out and they're recording like their phone up to here. Like, oh, you can't see me.
No, I can't see you. Yeah, we can't see each other because of webcam issues. Yeah. So it's a bit awkward at the moment, but we'll figure that out. That's
fine. Like phone up to your mouth, like no video, no nothing. It's horrible audio. But each episode they like recommend something like, yeah, like get yourself a good mic. And then the next episode they have that good mic.
Oh, so they almost like show the progression of how a person can start a podcast. And then by episode 50, it's like the most professional set ever with like cameras on like rollers and like these microphones and like insane lighting. That'd be cool. And only thing is, I feel like people get
boring.
It'd be really difficult to get people like hooked on the first episode because it'd be so shit.
Yeah,
I almost kind of want to see the inverse.
You like,
I want to see a podcast start really good and they take away something every episode until it's just awful. Like
that'd be kind of great.
The last thing they take away is the microphone. So like after episode 40, there's just no mic anymore. They just upload 2 hours of silence every time. That's the whole podcast.
It's just nothing.
Yeah.
But the video is there, so you have to like lip read.
Oh my. A podcast for deaf people. It's just a video with lip reading. It's just no subtitles, no audio. Just they just have to read the lips. Like if you're really good at it, it could work.
I was gonna say lip reading training actually, like that would work.
Yeah. It wouldn't be good though. Imagine like there was a podcast like that, only video, you have to lip read. It's meant for deaf people, and it started in 2019, and then COVID hit, and they had to wear masks. And they keep doing the podcast, but they just have masks on, so now no one can understand them whatsoever.
Absolutely, yeah.
They're just talking for 2 hours like every week, and everyone's like, "What do you expect from us?"
They're like, "Look, man, you want us to get sick?" And it's like, no, but like,
we need to
go to the other end of the rooms. We only have one camera.
Just make excuses for why they can't.
All right.
Oh God.
Yeah. Do you have anything, or do you want me to just start rattling things?
Go rattling off.
Okay. So I have one. This is a joke that my college roommate and I had for like ages.
Right.
And I cannot remember if we stole this from somewhere or if we made this joke ourselves.
It's free reign, baby. Take it.
Yeah, it's West Wing and Wings. So you know the show The West Wing?
I haven't watched it, but sure.
Yeah, it's a show.
I'm aware of it, yeah.
Sure, yeah. I haven't seen it either.
Okay.
I heard it's probably good. I don't know. You just watch that while eating wings. That's it. It's just like a podcast is an episode. You're just eating wings and you like almost take it as if you're not really doing the podcast, but you're just like being recorded. Like you kind of do it because it'd be kind of weird if you're just like sitting there eating.
So it's kind of like Gogglebox a bit. You're just kind of sitting there reacting to it, kind of. You know what Gogglebox is, right?
Yeah, it's some British thing, right?
It's the British show where like families sit down, just watch TV. It's about it. It's kind of it's like the mainstream version of a reaction video. So you know, Sniper Wolf would be great at that.
It's the mainstream version. Wouldn't the reaction video be the mainstream?
No, I mean like mainstream media, like old TV.
Oh, okay, yeah. I thought you meant like it's the newer. It's the more hip.
No, it's very much not hip. There's a lot of 70-year-old British grandmas on there, which like they probably lack hips. To be honest, they're probably falling over.
They might lack hips, or they have really good hips because they're new.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, with the fucking torque, they got that.
Oh yeah,
hip 5000.
Grease it
up, baby. Yeah.
Sure. I don't love the phrase "grease it up," but
grease it up, grandma. Come on, baby. Get that hip working. No, in terms of like the West Wing and Wing, I feel like there's a lot of different variations of that you can do. Like in Melbourne, where I live, there's a small restaurant that's called Saul's, and it's completely marketed after Better Call Saul. Like just completely marketed. The whole podcast could just be eating that and watching the show. I think you'd get copyrighted. Souls and Souls.
Oh yeah, you'd immediately get copyrighted.
But hey, it's who cares? It's fun, right?
Just don't get popular enough to be copyrighted.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it.
There must be some other good variations of that. That's like Just a giant mukbang, but you're watching.
Yeah, I guess it is a mukbang, but it's like podcast. It's almost like it was streamed. I don't know. I feel like people.
I reckon a Squid Game, but you eat squid the whole time.
That could be decent.
Yeah.
Calamari squid, right? Or is it octopus? I can never remember.
It's squid. It's squid. Well, okay. Oh, that's actually a good question.
That's a good question.
We're going to search up in the middle of the podcast if squid is calamari.
It's squid. It's squid. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
it's squid.
so.
I knew that the whole time. We'll just cut that out.
No.
It'll be fine.
Keep it in. We need to sound like idiots.
No. We'll definitely cut it. No, we're smart. We're intelligent people. We know what we're doing.
Yeah, that's why I'm dropping out of university.
You say it as if you're currently doing that.
Yeah, well, I've taken a gap year for the past year. And I actually got an email from my university like 2 weeks ago saying like, hey, you need to re-enroll, otherwise you're going to miss the deadline, you're going to have to pay extra. And I'm like, I'm not planning to, so what's you going to do about it? Bitch.
Yeah, you really told them.
Yeah, I did. Actually, I don't understand. Like, if I don't re-enroll, do I just not go back, or do I have to like explicitly say I'm leaving? I don't really understand how it works.
Figure that out.
I probably should.
Figure that out.
It's nearly January, and the classes start March, which is still a while away,
yeah,
to be honest.
Yeah, I guess. All right, let's see. Oh, one that I did that I came up with that kind of related to earlier in like at the very beginning of this episode was they just do good takes, but they act as if they're hot takes.
So it's like it's pedophilia is bad. What a hot take, baby.
Exactly. It's like, and they all act like, ooh, dude, that's hot take. But honestly, I agree with you. Like, and they just do that the entire time.
Hey, Chad. Off topic quickly. I have a really it's a take that I don't know if you're gonna agree with, but I need to put it out there. It's just what I've been feeling. Shawshank Redemption, right?
Yeah, I've heard of it. Yeah.
I think it might be a good movie. Like, there's a chance. It has potential.
I don't know. That's kind of hot, but also, but also, good movie.
Well, my ears just got touched. Oh, Jesus!
I leaned into the mic.
I could tell. I could tell you were leaning.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was hard leaning. Shawshank Redemption, good movie.
Yeah, I haven't actually seen it, so I can't really talk about it.
You should watch it.
I know. We'll get into it in another episode.
We'll get into it.
I do not watch many movies. There are many I have not seen.
Only watch the bad ones.
Yep,
but that's fine.
And also,
look, I mean, I feel like when people talk about like, oh man, you haven't seen this movie, it's like there's a lot of movies out there.
Yeah, like Jurassic World.
Shut up. There's a lot of movies out there, and like, I probably haven't seen them all.
No, I wonder who like holds the record for seeing the most movies. Like, is it even possible to watch like if you take a look at all the Hollywood movies, like all the Hollywood blockbusters released in a year? Is it even possible to watch them all like in a year? There's a lot of movies, right? Like,
it's a lot of movies.
If you spent,
I mean, it
16
I'm sure
hours
reviewers
a day,
do.
Yeah, that's true. But if you spent like 16 hours a day watching movies, could you keep up with a release schedule?
Yeah, probably.
Because I know
there's not that many movies that come out. I think if you watched one a day, like
a day, that's only 52. Oh, sorry, 365. One a day. Yeah. No, I
don't know if there's that many like big movies that come out.
Possibly, because I was watching a YouTube video. I can't remember, or maybe a TikTok about a guy who studies books, and I think he's a librarian, but a book guy. And he got asked the question: if you started reading books from the first book that was ever released, how far could you go reading, say, like one book a day, and you could still keep up with the release schedule? And I think he said you could make it up until like the mid 1800s. And then at that point, there was more than like 600 books a year, and you just can't keep up anymore, which is quite interesting. Because like, it starts off with like 5 books and like 20, then like back down to like 10 or something in like a bad decade or whatever. Then it just goes up crazy.
I mean, it's also like, once that printing press came out.
Oh, yeah, they pressed hard. Pressed real hard.
My guess.
Yeah.
God damn it.
So, I'm sorry. Bad podcast ideas. Everything is sexual. Welcome to Objectively Bad. There's
sex podcasts.
Yeah, but no, I mean sexual, but like they don't intend it to be sexual. Like it's a podcast. It's a podcast about like men's fitness or something, and everything's just obscenely sexual for no goddamn reason.
I think people could get into that. And that's the issue is when I wrote a lot of these, I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to like I'll think about it, and then I'm like, someone might like this. I have one that's actually kind of a decent example. It's called The Wrong Interview. So what they do is they interview people on a niche topic. That person has no idea. They have nothing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
They like the person interviewing might know stuff, and they probably get a bunch of good questions together, and they ask really good questions, but they just grab someone random.
That has
I think
no
bonus
interesting
points,
topic, or like they have no idea what's going on whatsoever.
I say bonus points if it like they grab someone who's like really good at a different niche topic, and they thought they were interviewing for that, and then they just didn't.
Yeah, no, that'd be a great bit even on our podcast in the future. Where you bring in like someone who's like a expert in game design, and we just start asking them about like, so how do you think trumpet players blow so hard? Thoughts?
That's such a. How do you think they blow so hard?
I couldn't think of anything else, man. I'm sorry.
Right, yeah,
that's the best I got.
All right,
it's the best I got.
We'll work with what we got.
Yeah, which ain't much,
I
sadly.
feel like it's a bad idea, and I don't know how long it will last. I think it could be a funny bit for a bit.
It would be funny.
I don't know though. I don't know. Like it's kind of Eric Andre style ish in the sense of like
true.
The person being interviewed is just made to feel really awkward, but it's in a different way.
Yeah, it's like you need to act like they know what the topic is. So you're like, why are you struggling? I thought you were an expert at this.
No. I think you just ignore that. Like you don't go like, oh, why don't you know the answer? You just keep going as if you're like, oh, that's a really interesting point. I never thought about that. And you just do that, even when they're like, dude, I have no idea.
Wow, what a valuable insight, dude. I didn't say anything. You're a really smart guy. Just like continuously.
You're so intelligent. How long did it take you to master your craft? What? Wow, that's a really long time. And just like, yeah, I think you just act as if they're giving you a genuine answer, and you have to act interested by it. Yeah, I think it's, what is it? Is it Kunk on Earth? I think that's.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's Kunk on Earth. Did you watch that?
No, I've seen a bunch of clips from it, yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's great. I got sick one day, and it's like, it takes like 2 or 3 hours to watch on Netflix. I got sick one day and just watched all, maybe like 4 hours. I watched all of it.
It seems like a great show. It seems
it's so funny. She does like an amazing job.
We should get her on.
Because I think she genuinely, I don't know if it's scripted. I'm assuming it's not, because they had pretty real answers. Maybe some of them are, but like she interviews people who are actually like in the field, like experts about whatever topic, like, I don't know, Roman Empire or whatever. And she'll ask them like questions that start to sound like they're real, and then they're just not.
Yeah.
And they're just stupid questions. And sometimes they knew it was a bit, and so they went with it. There's a couple where like they started to get frustrated, and then they just cut it off.
Oh my!
Like they just cut to something else.
That's great.
It's great. Like brilliant work. Yeah, fantastic.
Another bad podcast just discussing Kunk on Earth for 100 episodes. Get boring real quick. I feel like any podcast that discusses a super, super, super niche thing and doesn't change their format whatsoever would be really bad. Like if we just discussed like GTA Online heists for 100 episodes.
You only go for so long. Well, I feel like it's something where it's, you wouldn't make it to be a lasting thing. You'd make it to be, and in that case, it probably wouldn't really come in the form of a podcast.
No. It'd
come in the form of like video essays that end. Because it's like, you can only talk about a certain topic for so long. Now, it might be really good up until you run out of content. It's just you're bound to run out of content.
Or it's a podcast where you make drastic, distinct shifts from topics each episode and never revisit the same ones. So it's not even like episodes connect to each other. It's like the first episode you're talking about like a movie franchise, and then the next one you're talking about how to pick up women, and the next one he's talking about how to nail a 2x4 into a wall, and just never reference anything else you've ever said. It's just every topic is completely different. Even each episode, the 2 hosts or 3 hosts act completely different, have different cadence of voice.
Like some are like really similar. An accent change every once in a while.
Yeah, just throw in a casual
unexplained
accent change. Why not?
Yeah,
I'm sure they'll get cancelled at one point. I'm sure.
Yeah, as long as they do it right. Pick the right accent.
So if you're Chad, if you're telling me if I do a Chinese accent accurately, I wouldn't get cancelled. Is that what you're saying right now?
That's why I said pick your accents correctly.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. Because you're probably right. I mean, I don't know. I think if you do something intelligently enough and also funny enough, you might be able to get away with it. I'm not going to recommend that one because I don't think it'll go well.
No, probably not. No, I'd get bullied.
Yeah, you get bullied for sure. And that's a good thing.
I don't agree with that.
Nah, I'm kidding.
Thanks.
Bullying is bad, kids. Don't do it.
Unless they're a little shit, then do it.
Well, okay.
Let's be honest. Some kids need to be bullied. Some kids went too long without being. The fucking TikTok era, there's too many kids who think they're the shit and they need to be taught a lesson. I mean, I think people should show the consequences of their actions. I think bullying maybe isn't character. The right word. And this is coming from someone who wasn't bullied, so I can't relate. But I'm sure it builds character.
You weren't bullied?
No.
Oh, really?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Bullying comes in all shapes and sizes, Dan.
Maybe there was in 8th grade.
Not physically.
There was like a period where some of the girls in my class were kind of making fun, but it was like I didn't care. And it stopped pretty quickly. I didn't have like the typical like American high school bully experience, like swirlies, wedgies, backpack.
Okay, fucking I didn't either. And I know. Lived there.
When I think of bullying, I think of more like guy on guy bullying, like being like ostracized from a friend group. None of that happened to me because clearly I'm the coolest man around.
Sure.
That's also why.
What the fuck was that sound you just made?
I don't think I made a sound.
Okay, I'm just hearing things. We'll cut that. I mean, bullying comes in many different ways, sizes and shapes and all that.
Yeah.
I feel like no one really like in the 2000s necessarily had like physical. That's probably not true.
No, in
Australian physical bullying.
Australian schools, there was a lot of physical fighting and bullying. I just didn't get involved in it because. Well, actually, no. One time, my friend, who was my ex-friend, I guess, brought a knife to school and tried to challenge me to a duel. And I'm not kidding when I say that.
Oh, that's fun.
He got expelled pretty quickly.
Did you duel him?
No, because he came up. I remember this so vividly. So I was playing basketball on the basketball court with like 7 or 8 other friends of mine.
Mm-hmm.
This kid that I had known since like 2nd grade, but like had causal issues in the past. Came up to me with 2 of his guys. It generally felt like Mean Girls. He had like his posse behind him. He came up and he challenged me to like a fight. And then I think the knife was a different day. He brought in a knife like a couple of weeks later and got expelled for it. And then he went to another school, which was a Christian school, got expelled from that. Somehow got back into the same school he was expelled from. And then brought in a knife again and got expelled.
Let's go.
Again.
Let's go. I really hope he just went back and forth between the 2 schools because it was like the only 2 options.
Yeah.
Well, and he just kept getting expelled for brandishing a knife.
It's just the only thing he did in school. Only thing that brought like anything to his name. That's just the guy that brings in knives. He'll be back in a couple of weeks. Don't worry about it.
They start taking like a record of like how long they'll be out of their school until they come back.
Yeah, the teachers start betting. There's a betting pool. How long will it take this time?
They're all gambling on one kid and his knife.
Yeah. No, it was strange though because he never got any consequences because his mother was, well, a strange person, let's say. I can get into more stories about her in a future episode, but just to give you the tip of the top of her character, she was
the iceberg,
a spirit talker.
Oh, sick.
And she basically thought that like she could like see the future kind of and like people's true characters. Yeah. And she was like, oh, my son's an angel. He could do nothing wrong. And I can see it in him. So he never got any consequences. And I got in trouble by this woman once for things. Again, I'll mention another point. But
yeah, we get strange. That's interesting. And I want to hear about that.
It's a weird situation. Very strange.
Huh.
But yeah. Any further bad podcast ideas you have written down?
Let's see here.
I didn't write it down. I didn't prepare. So
yeah, that's fair. I have a couple. We'll go through them quickly. And then I have a final one that we can end with. It's called Oneup. Every episode they have to do something that one-ups each other, but it's all like pain levels. So slowly it just ends with someone dying. Or like being hospitalized, and they're like, maybe we should do this. But the first one's like, oh, like stub my toe. and then it just gets to like I'm playing Russian roulette with 5 bullets in the chamber. It's a little dark. I'll admit.
So wait, okay, now, because you've obviously come up with this brilliant podcast idea. What happens throughout the rest of the podcast? If it's like 45 minutes to an hour, are they just stubbing their toe for 45 minutes to an hour? Is that
no, they're like talking about it or something. I don't exactly know. It feels more like a video series than a podcast, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's all right. So there's the White Cooking podcast where you take 2 people who are just dog shit at cooking, and I'm debating on if they're just really bad at cooking.
Me.
Or if I think even better, they're really bad at cooking, but they think they're good.
Oh,
I think that's what, and you just put them on, they just give cooking tips, and it's just awful. Have you seen videos? I saw one recently that inspired this, and it was like making ribs, and they like boiled the ribs, and it came out like kind of a disgusting like light brown color. And then they poured like a little bit of barbecue sauce on it and then threw it on the grill. No seasoning. There's absolutely no seasoning whatsoever.
Yeah, perfect.
I'm not even talking salt and pepper. Like no seasoning. It didn't get that crispy. And at one point in the video, they're like, oh, look, wow, that's like, look at that crisp. And it's like, it's on like one part of the rib. Not all of the rib is like covered in barbecue sauce. Like it looked fucking gross. So anyways, that's an idea.
Yeah. Well, little side detail. I cooked for the first time last night in a few months.
Hey, what do you mean you cook? Oh, and I thought you meant for the first time ever.
No, not the first time ever. I usually like have microwave meals or order food because I'm lazy as hell.
Sure.
But I made some chicken breast last night, and I can't lie, it fucking slapped.
What'd you do?
I got some breast, of course, of the chicken variety. I seasoned it with a bit of salt, a bit of mixed spices.
What the fuck does mixed spices mean?
Well, I actually have, I can't remember what it says on the jar. It's like some sort of like mixed spice. I'm assuming there's like paprika and some other shit in there. I don't remember what.
Oh, it's a spice. Okay, it's a spice mix. Okay.
Yeah, I can't remember what is on the jar, but that type of thing.
Sure.
And then I also got a bit of a medium Nando's peri peri sauce and put it on there.
Oh, okay.
I lathered that shit up, put it in my new air fryer. Shit went hard. I cannot lie.
Nice. Did you eat it with anything, or did you just eat chicken?
So here's the thing. I was initially going to do chicken, rice, and broccoli, the most basic, like, healthy meal you can make. So I went down to the store to buy some long grain white rice because that's my jam. Because I didn't have any. There was none available. So the next best thing.
There was no rice available.
Yeah, I have a very small supermarket. There was no long grain white rice. Okay. There was like the microwave variety, but that's awful. So I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
So I got some brown rice, kind of next best thing.
Sure, that works. Yeah,
I got a new rice cooker recently. So
nice.
I got the brown rice ready, put it in there. And this was last night when the GTA 5 online DLC was coming out at 9 p.m.
Oh.
And I started cooking at 7:30, which, you know, that's an hour and a half to cook and eat. That's enough time, right? Little did I know, for some reason, brown rice within this rice cooker takes a bit longer to cook than white rice.
That's funny.
Do you want to know how much longer, Chad?
Just the right amount of time, wasn't it?
It was like, so white rice, typically if you make a cup of it or so, would take about 20-25 minutes in this rice cooker.
Okay.
Brown rice, an hour 40.
Oh my God, what the fuck?
Yeah. So I
didn't know that.
I was baffled. So I put that in like 20 minutes before I started cooking the chicken. I started making the chicken. The chicken was done. The rice was still, like, the rice cooker wasn't even steaming yet. I was like, oh boy. So I started making some of the broccoli. Ate chicken and broccoli. And then it got to
it's not horrible.
Yeah, it's not terrible. I also had a raw carrot. I enjoy raw carrots. They taste good.
Sure.
It got to like 8:45, and I was like, even if the rice finishes in the next 10 minutes, I ain't gonna eat that shit because I need to record a video. So the rice is now currently sitting half cooked in a bowl on my kitchen counter. So I got half a meal. You know, it was something.
I mean, you got most of the meal.
Yeah, I got the important part, I think.
Yeah.
I'll buy white rice at some point next time.
I mean, brown rice is good.
Yeah, I just need to realize that it takes a while to cook.
Sure. I didn't either. I just looked it up. It takes twice as long as white rice.
Yeah.
Although 20 minutes to an hour and 40 is like 5 times the amount.
I don't know what's up with this rice cooker, man.
Yeah, it's weird.
I'm sure it's good for the white, but
rice cookers just take like different amounts of time.
Yeah.
I think I've had 2 different rice cookers that take 2 different amounts of time to cook.
It's a weird one. But yeah, that's my cooking story. So if you want me to be on that podcast where I give cooking tips, hey, I'm all for it, because I have no idea what I'm doing.
Oh God. Yeah, let's see. I had one. This is all right. It's the Not Having Fun podcast. They play like a stressful game in like competitive mode, and they stop recording when they stop having fun, which could be very quickly or could take a while.
Oh God.
So I'm talking like FIFA.
Like that'd be instant, but 2 minutes
like,
maybe.
You get the loading screen up,
and
then once you get in the game, you just get pissed.
Yeah, no, I think if I opened the game just period, I'd end it straight away. It's bad.
Yeah,
FIFA
glad
bad.
I haven't bought FIFA in a while.
Yeah, I regret buying it.
Yeah, that is my list. The last one, of course, and this is. If anything, this is probably the sign of a good podcast, but
oh, okay.
You know what's a good
excited.
Podcast? What's a good one? You know what's a good one? 2 straight white guys talking to each other.
Let's go. The iconic duo.
Oh yeah. The absolute iconic duo of a podcast is just
Incredible.
2 straight guys who are bored but think that what they say is important.
Now, Chad, as we are 2 straight white guys, do you think we should have opinions about women?
We should absolutely have.
We should definitely like tell
all
them
of the opinions.
We should definitely tell them how they should like dress and like act, right?
Oh yeah, that'll be
a good idea.
Tell them just fully incorrect things about their periods and just like
yep.
Just no, you're just acting irrational.
Yeah. It's not even that painful.
That's a good way to go about life.
Yeah. No,
yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, just tell them everything wrong about their body and act like we know everything.
And act as if we're like scientists and or have experienced anything they have.
Exactly, because as straight white men, we do know everything, and we are the best species and race and gender and sexuality.
Can we just get a clip of that?
Yeah, just cut that out of context. Just be extremely what is that? Racist, sexist, and homophobic all at once, baby. Let's go.
Yeah. Just throw it all out there.
Yeah.
Just get it out at the beginning instead of like a slow burn where you're like, I think this guy's kind of racist. Like just
straight
episode
away.
Episode 2, just the N-word.
Fuck just like going to like just hate on every race. I didn't say it. I had to say it. I might get cancelled from out of context clips, but that's different.
Really close.
Yeah,
we're just gonna have a secondary account that's just out of context clips, and it's gonna be about as long as
the podcast.
A podcast, yeah.
It's just me saying like questionable stuff the whole time. You don't have any clips. It's just me the whole time.
It's just you. Like every once in a while, it's me. But I feel like you could get me out of context because I'll be sarcastic.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be mostly you.
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah, I think this podcast, the dynamic, at least from my understanding of our friendship, is that I'm gonna say really dumb stuff. I'm gonna have bad opinions and bad takes. You're gonna say that's really funny in a deadpan voice.
You've pointed that out to me and it's fucked me up. I said it yesterday at work and I was like, oh shit, I say this.
Yeah. I don't know when I started realizing it either. I think that's when I was editing the video.
I mean, you were editing, so you had to listen to me.
Yeah. It generally feels like a substitute for you laughing at something. It's kind of the equivalent of like exhaling through your nose when something is like kind of funny but not enough to laugh.
It's the equivalent of like texting someone like LOL, but like you didn't laugh whatsoever.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
it's really when I first realized it was the clip, the short clip when GTA character got cloned a lot.
I think someone commented like that's really funny in deadpan voice. It's fine, you know.
Honestly, it adds to the clip, in my opinion.
I might change it. I'm gonna slowly attempt to change it out of my vocabulary, but
oh my god, that'd be tough. It's difficult to change something like that.
It is.
Good luck. I applaud you for
we'll see
making
how
an
it
effort.
works. We'll get a that's funny counter going.
God,
throughout the podcast.
It'd be so high by like episode 4. I guarantee it'll be like on 50 already.
Well, I'm thinking it's like per podcast or per episode. And hopefully it slowly starts going down or quickly goes down. As long as it's going down, that'd be good.
That would be great. But you know what else is going down? The runtime of this episode.
Ayo.
I'm great at transitions. So I think that's it for the first episode. We talked
I think that's good.
Quite a while on that last topic. But that's kind of what you want to expect. That's kind of what you are going to expect. What the fuck was that?
Sorry, that was mean. I was making fun of you, which I now feel like is mean.
That's fine. I make fun of myself.
Fine.
So that's kind of what to expect, us rambling about random shit. But next episode, we're going to be talking about
GTA 6.
There we go. He got the cue.
Yeah. I got the cue. There was no pause there.
No, not at all. But yeah, if you did enjoy the episode, if you have any feedback to give us, please leave a comment down below. Subscribe to the channel, and also you can go ahead and follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anything else. All of it.
Follow us on all of it.
There'll be links in the description.
If we're there, follow us.
Yeah. So my name's been Dan, and
I'm Chad.
There we go.
Yeah.
We're just gonna end it there.
Yeah, we'll just end it there. Peace.